Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Seed Wellness podcast. And it's quite an exciting day today because this is our first podcast that we are doing where Seed is now got a new name. We are now Seed at WellVal. WellVal is a new online directory of holistic practitioners across the UK. And it's also a personalized companion for holistic well-being. So really the whole structure of WellVow is to match wellness seekers with vetted practitioners, but also providing daily wellness tools and expert-led content, which is what we are very passionate about and have always been at Seed. And with that in mind, today I am delighted to be sharing the mic with the wonderful Carolina Taylor, who is Seed's parenting and life coach at Seed, located in Amersham, Buckinghamshire. Now, just also to just say that, Seed at WellVal we are the practitioner community. Seed has been around for a long time, 8 years. And we've spent that time building this incredible team. We're now across 4 counties and London and growing. And we are carefully handpick the experts that we feel align with our values. And so the information that we share from our experts is from fully vetted and checked practitioners who are part of the Seed team. So, Carolina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. It's a
And
pleasure.
we've been trying to do this for a while now, haven't we? Trying to get this podcast in our diaries. So just to give it a bit of a heads up, Carolina is a parent. We're really here to talk about coaching in general, but really we're specializing. We're focusing in on your parenting coaching as well. And you had a very transformative journey yourself through the coaching process. And as with many people at Seed, and I say this a lot on this podcast, many of the people that we speak to, many of our practitioners have come into what they do because of their own personal experience. And so we call that the Journey series. So this fits very well into that. So you're here to talk to us today about the impact that coaching had on your life, and the important work that you are now doing, both with parents, families, and also with individuals who are needing a little bit of support. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me here.
So let's just jump in. So first off, what brought you here?
Well, okay, so it's a good question. So I'm a mother of 2 boys, and the reason why I starting my journey is because of them. So I had my first child nearly 11 years ago, and my background was in marketing, and yeah, I stopped working while I was raising him, and I had my second child. And then I was questioning if marketing was the place I wanted to go back. And I had some career coaching at that time, and it was very interesting because I never had coaching before. And that kind of the result of that first coaching process was very interesting, apart from understanding who I was and what I wanted. So I decided to train myself as a coach. And it was also, again, very, very powerful period of training because not only so I was being a coach for other people that was going through the course, I was also being coached. So it was very, very transformational because I realized all those little goals I had, it meant more than I thought, and it had a very big impact on my personal growth, which then impacted the way I was relating with my family. And I thought, wow, this is very big. And what happened then is I started working with parents who were also seeing, oh, it's not just about me going back to work, it's how I feel as a mom and the guilt. And when you start going deeper on this and understanding what's actually going on, you start seeing things differently. Anyway, I could see that was not just a transformational process for me as a mom, my family, it was also for all their parents. And I thought, well, there's room for more growth for us as a parents. Why not to keep supporting the parents? And that is when I went on a specific training on parenting and coaching. And it was brilliant because I also took more tools, more education, more understanding on, child development, the brain, nervous system, emotional intelligence. And I thought was okay, with the first course, I did quite a lot of my personal growth and, I had a better relationship with my family. No, there was more room to it. And I gained so much knowledge that now I was like, okay, there's a gem here that we are missing as parents because it's the support and this is the understanding and the transformation in my family is huge. It's not that we don't have arguments or anything like that. The reaction, the responding from my perspective to what's happening is completely different. And if I can tell you, I just feel connected, actually really connected with my children. So there's that they feel safe to share how they're feeling the same way that I do. And we explore situations, we are family, there's togetherness, there's closeness, there's communication, there's connection. And I think it's, it's so beautiful. It's a parent-child relationship. And I thought this is great and I can see it with my clients. So yeah, that's my journey really.
Wow, I love that. I can feel it, because actually communication, connection, responding rather than reacting, these are all the things that we all want in our families, right? As parents, and it's easier to say than do. So I suppose, bringing some training into that area is going to be helpful. So let's talk about, if there's any particular moment, that you can remember with your own kids, maybe, a gap you kept seeing in the families you were working with. Was there a moment, or was it just a collection of moments?
So I will say before I did a training, I didn't realize how important is listening, active listening. And it's not just, I did see it in my family, and I do see it in other families as well. And I do think it's a gap. And what I mean is active listening. It's just what is more apart from the word, the body language is being curious as well. Like, um, what is behind all these things that you are telling me, especially when you have children, they are getting closer to that teenage age. It's just the listening that actually really all of them want you to listen, but and I'm being experienced it more with my son, the eldest one. He just want he I did say the other day to him, do you want me to listen or do you want me to advise? Because I'm starting to respect his his
Perspective.
autonomy
Yeah,
and all this. And he said, I just want you to listen. So, and it's so powerful. And sometimes we don't really, we are listening, but we are doing something else. We're just cooking. So when you are really stop and listen, it's so powerful. And it's a gap that I didn't realize I had. And you do see it with my clients that they're like actually sitting down and say, okay, hold on, wait a minute. What is this crying coming from? But let's listen, you know. So yeah.
I love that. And like you're saying, it's not just about active listening and not doing something else alongside that, cooking or whatever, and that distraction. But it's also not trying to fix, I suppose, as well.
Yeah.
Active listening would, I suppose, cover that. Not trying to fix, not trying to recommend or advise. It just, like you say, just to hear, so they feel seen and heard. Which I know is a big thing in general for lots of people. Okay, so if you had to put into your whole philosophy into one sentence, that a tired parent, I like this question, that a tired question could remember at 2 a.m., what would it be?
Well, this is a good question because there's three things that came into my mind, no? But and I think perhaps is it is a phase. Nothing is forever.
Love that one. My daughter tells me this all the time, actually, and it's great that she knows that at 16. Yeah, Mum, I know nothing's permanent. It's
Yeah.
just that's a great tool to know and to have. So that's an interesting one.
And the reason why is it's hard in the moment. And at 2 a.m., you might be like, I'm tired. I just want to sleep. I just want him to go to sleep or whatever the situation is. But when you bring compassion, self-compassion, compassion for the other, and you remember it, you can go through that period with acceptance and with what tools I can get to go through this um, with the best feelings and emotions, but with acceptance. Um, yeah, it would help. When you think about it, like this, nothing is forever. So not, you know, in 20 years, you're not going to be waking up at 2 a.m. to change nappies, for example. So yeah.
Okay, so it's nothing is permanent. Okay, so um, what's the single pattern you see most often in struggling families? And yeah, let's talk about that first. Is there
Yes,
is there is there a common theme that you see, a common struggle that you see most?
overwhelmed parents. And that is showing different ways. So, and that overwhelming goes with I don't have time. So the lack of time um, in the overwhelming. So that is something that affects how we feel, how we react, how we connect. Um, yeah,
And how we communicate.
yeah, yeah.
So
How
it's
we,
back to reaction, communication, and connection again, isn't it?
yeah. So when sometimes, you know, and this not necessarily is for like a working mom or dad. It could be just, you are at home raising the children and it's overwhelming, it's the lack of um support that we as a village don't have. Like in the past, other, our parents or grandparents have. It is quite heavy on our shoulders. So sometimes that overwhelming will, translate sometimes reacting not the way we want to.
Okay, so let's talk about the small shifts that can change that.
First is noticing it, acknowledge it,
Mm. Yeah.
and sit with it. It is, this is happening. Um, this is making me feel like this. What do I need? Because what I need is not the same that you might need, Kate. And I think that is very key. And then it's when a little bit when coaching comes, like, but what can we do to move forward? Okay, what little shift works for you as a parent, as a family that can help with this situation? Um, and I think that is key. So sometimes we just, it's okay, I'm okay until you just you're done. But then you're like, oh, I'm not sure why my child is just behaving the way that he's behaving. He might be feeling it. Because if you're not self-regulating, this is too much and you haven't stopped to actually acknowledge this and even share it with your family. I am tired, just need more operation, or I just need to take 5 minutes. We are we are a role model. We are showing and teaching our children this is life. Sometimes it's gonna be hard, but let's just notice, let's pause. What can we do to make this
I love
less?
that. I love that. So, okay, so, coming back to the listening, if there's one concrete thing a listener could do differently with their child today, tonight, uh, no courses, no reading required, um, what would that be?
I will say um, just before they go into bedtime, for example. And it not necessarily has to be a little child. you know, it could be your teenager. Um, have an open chat. Just bring, you know, curiosity, like, how was your day? How do you feel? What make you, you know, did something make you happy, or is it something that worry you today? Tell me more. But also, I would say you share as well. How often do we share to our children how we feel and how was our day? Or how, you know, today I felt happy because um, I helped an old lady cross the street. I don't know. I'm just, you know what I mean? Little things that we sometimes we ourselves don't acknowledge. And that creates also that role modeling. So it's very simple.
Okay, I love that. I love that. And again, talking about, the age category, we should have probably mentioned this earlier, really. Is there a particular age group that you are seeing more or a parent of an age group?
I would say the moms with like small children, like the toddlers, like the children around up to 6. I feel like that is an age when parents feel like, oh, don't really know what to do. And I feel sometimes there's a bit of a calm period, and then the teenagers come. So it's interesting because it's like between the 6 and 9, it's like the parents are like, oh, no, I can't do this. And then suddenly it's a turbulence with the with the teenagers. So yeah. So but at the moment, yeah, I would say the first few years and then closer to that teenage period.
Okay, interesting. Okay,
That
so
doesn't mean that I don't serve the whole
well, I mean, you're a parent, you're a parenting coach, so that means parents, and I suppose we're parents right up until. I mean, I don't know if it makes any difference
forever.
forever.
Forever. Yeah.
And I know obviously that changes a lot. But I mean, I've just been with my sister-in-law and her daughter, who is now in her 30s. That it's just interesting to see that dynamic, and because we do kind of revert to type, don't we, in our relationships with our
Yeah.
parents and our relationships with our children. And you are forever the parent looking after and watching over and concerned about and wanting to give to. Okay, so a lot of parents have said that they've tried everything, and I guess you will see this as well. I guess they come to you at a point that they're in crisis, because that's generally what we do. We leave everything until we're in crisis, and that's when we are forced to look for help rather than look for maybe a more preventative solution before it gets to that point. But we're all guilty of that. It's a human condition, and we're all busy. So what do you say to someone who's skeptical about coaching?
I will I will ask them why are they skeptical? What makes them, you know, because they have tried other things. Why not to try this one? You know, um, coaching. I don't know if sometimes people have this thinking that coaching is like a football coach. I'm gonna be really telling you what to do. The coaching, the parenting coaching and bringing is a safe place for you where we we talk about the challenges and how we can move forward. You know, but I just put it like this. I go like a torch. You have your way. I will be lighting it up. You have the tools. Okay. And perhaps I will share education and you will take from that what served you. Like I said before, um, everybody's different. Okay. And everybody will feel that something in particular works better than another thing. So I'm not telling you what to do. Coaching is not that. Coaching is a reflective place, a space for the parents, where you go deeper, you are really see, okay, why is this really triggering me? You know, but I'm there. I'm there to listen. I'm there to question. I'm there to bring curiosity. Because that is a moment for as a parent to stop, to actually really, okay, what is this so heavy? And I got a torch and I light it up. And then you do start moving forward in that journey because it's a personal growth. And I do think that sometimes we think as a parents we're just teaching our children, but we forget that they are teaching us. Okay. And I do think parenting, motherhood, fatherhood, it is a journey as for us as a human to keep growing as a person. and why, and coaching give you that space for it.
I love that. I love it. Yeah, and I love your holistic approach as well, and your soft holistic approach. And it's like you say, it's curiosity. It's actually getting behind the noise and understanding, the root, which
Yeah,
we never have the time. Again, we never have the time to do. Okay, so last question.
because just to say something
Yeah,
else,
yeah.
the other thing about they will say, well, I read this book and I've read this and I was following this Instagram account, but they're just things, okay, that you hear. And the coaching give you the space to actually, is this really what I need in that moment? Is this what my child really needs? And that is the difference of the parenting coaching to another parenting book. Okay. So yeah, so that makes a difference. So why not try this more tailored to your personalized?
And also, you're involved as well, aren't you? You're participating.
Yeah,
If you're watching it on somewhere, it's you're not participating in it, and it's actually, you need to be participating to be able to go there. What do you wish someone had told you, or told more parents, about what it actually means to raise a happy and resilient child? And I love this because I think, there's a big question around how resilient, because we mollycoddle our kids so much more than apparently our parents and our grandparents used to. We're much more hands-on, much more nurturing, which I don't know why that shift is there, but I think that's true. And resilience is an area that is impacted by that. So, what do you think it means to raise a happy, resilient child?
it means a child. So two things that I would like, that someone would have told me before, um, is let's talk about emotions, actually acknowledging emotions. And I will tell you why. Um, and repair, okay?
And
Repair.
repair.
Let's repair, okay?
Okay.
Um, I think it is the mother of my, I started this journey after I had my second child. Or during that, my second child is the one that I started it. So the mom that my first child has in the first few years is different to the mom that my second child has. Okay. And the difference is we talk about emotions, we talk about how we feel and what we need, and how that translates in my children's is that they have a voice and they can talk about how they feel and what they need, and that bring that confidence that they have the voice matter, so that what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what they are needing is important, but also that the other people's feelings and emotions are valid and we need to listen to those. And that brings, that confidence and that, like, okay, I'm happy. This is what I need. This is what, I mean, in this moment. And if something doesn't, we obviously we're humans, we make mistakes, we can repair. And that repair involves that. I'm sorry. When I shout, I was feeling angry. And I just needed a bit, quite a space. So that repair is important because that shows also your confident as well on how you confident how to repair when a relationship can be torn.
Can be fixed. That's a very interesting one, actually. And I tell you why, because I think that as I was growing up, my parents didn't stay together, actually. And I was really scared of things that were, if there was an argument or something like that, would really scare me in my relationships, because I saw that they didn't repair in my parents' relationship. And it's interesting. That's been a real journey as well. And I think people that come from maybe trauma,
Mm.
or parents that have gone through separation, or
Yeah.
whatever, and that impact it can have on your resilience to weather the storms in relationships, has been really interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that other people who come from that background would probably say the same thing. So the repair has been a really interesting journey for me to see, yeah, things can repair, things can bounce back. If you're prepared to say sorry, then it's okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I didn't have that much of that repairing when I was growing up. I mean, it was not a thing in my family to be talking about, I felt sad, or sorry, I did child, or it wasn't. And um, we, my husband and I, we are like that. We have always um, say sorry if we have done something that we feel like it has disturbed the children's. But obviously now it has more a meaning to me. And that brings, like you said, that security in the future with your relationships. And that's another thing. What these foundations for our children has will have an impact in the relationship in the future. So
Definitely.
it is so important that if they can see that in the household,
Yeah.
or even having one of the parents showing that role model, it has an impact in the future.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it's breaking like generational patterns, which sometimes we're not really thinking about that because the day is just another day, another day. When we really think about it, how all this process, this journey can actually help you and help your children to have more security attachment. What I mean is like a more connected relationship, able to communicate, to respect, to listen to the other person. And that not necessarily needs to be just your children, your partner, your friends, your own parents. It has such a big impact.
And also, of course, that translates out into the wider world. Like you say, for our children, it's not just us and it's not, but it's also their friends and their relationships going forward as well. So yeah, we are the role models, you know. Well, it's been really, really interesting to talk to you. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
I know sometimes, I mean, parenting coaching is a new term in the UK. Um, but just want just to remind people, please know I'm not coming here to tell you what to do or to judge you or to say, oh no, that you don't shouldn't do it like this. It's completely the opposite. It's a place that you can have it for you. Sometimes we look for the support for our children and looking, oh, my child needs this and my child needs that. But what if also you need that support? So, and when we look after ourselves as a parents, that has a mirror effect on our children as well.
And that's our message. It's always been our message at Seed. You know, we have to care for ourselves. We have to put the mask on ourselves, the oxygen mask on ourselves before we can save others or help others. And also, we don't have a manual. We're not born with a manual as a parent, are we? You know, we're all a bit blind and just doing our best. And I guess, like anything, you know, if we can always look to improve how we're doing things, do things differently from what we learn. So it's all got to be good. Good.
Here.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and
Thank
sharing
you,
your
Daisy. It's been
information,
brilliant.
insights,
Thank you.
expertise, experience. It's been really interesting. For those who are keen to find out more, we now are on a different platform. Normally, I'd be saying we're on seedwellness.co.uk. This is the first time I'm saying a different platform, which is a bit of a moment as well. So we're actually now wellvow.com, WELVOW, wellness, and then making a vow to yourself. That's what it means, wellvow.com. And if you want to, find more information about Carolina, it's wellvow.com/practitioners/Carolina hyphen Taylor. And I'm going to put this into the notes as well. So you can find more information about her there. But WellVow is a really interesting site because now, you know, you can plug in what you need. So if you're needing parenting support, you plug it in to the search and the various places that you can. And it will feed practitioners in your area or, you know, that are absolutely specific to your needs. We've done all the vetting and the checking and all the toggles and tags. So it's going to be much easier for people to find the right help, that is very appropriate to them. So, well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Carolina, for your time. And yeah, stay tuned. We're going to be having a lot more of these podcasts coming up on the new platform. So, we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.